My name is Don Fountain. I'm a trial lawyer located in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida.
My name is Ben Whitman, and I'm a partner at Clark, Fountain, Littky-Rubin, and Whitman in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida.
My name is Rick Millian. I'm with the law firm of Retamar and Millian.
The Cabalas case was a very unique and incredible case. It was one of the saddest, most traumatic, tragic cases that I have ever heard of.
The incident took place on December 21st, 2023.
A young woman and her children were stopping to buy fuel after Christmas shopping, getting ready for the holidays, having just finished up their family picture a few days before.
And while the mother had gotten out of their car to get gas at a local Circle K gas station,
while she was getting ready to pump the gas, another lady saw an open on the opposite side of the same fuel dispenser as Miss Cabalas and tried to back into that spot.
and that other customer made a mistake and pressed the gas instead of the brake while she was backing up. And it caused her car hit the fuel dispenser, dislodge the fuel dispenser, and it pinned Mrs. Cheryl Cabalas between her car and the fuel dispenser.
A huge fireball erupted and burned her to death in front of her children. It's a very unique, very traumatic case.
This case was about identifying and holding responsible every person and every company that was involved in causing this to happen.
What we proved throughout the case was that this was entirely a foreseeable event, but even more importantly, and perhaps more sad, is that it was easily preventable.
This case centered around three separate failures. The first failure was the failure to install additional bollards and impact protection. The second failure was something called a shear valve, and this is a shear valve. The shear valves are designed to break into two pieces. The shear valve did not fully seal, and it allowed gas to leak out. That was the second failure. And the third failure was at the gas station, and at many gas stations, there are emergency stop buttons, just like this one. Inside of the gas station and outside of the gas station, they had emergency stop buttons. And the clerk who was on duty testified that she pressed the button multiple times. And when you do that, it shuts off the electricity to the underground fuel tanks that are pushing pressurized fuel up towards the dispensers. And the clerk testified, and the evidence showed that the button that she pressed didn't work.
The Cabalas case was also unique in the way that it was litigated. It was a very, very complex case. It began with a multitude of defendants, well more than a dozen defendants. And as it evolved throughout the case, many of the defendants realized the magnitude of the case and began to voluntarily settle the case. And as they began to fall away, we were left with the main culprits, the main fault party, the people who had the greatest degree of responsibility for this incredible tragedy. And that's where the case ended up, against Circle K, the owner of the gas station.
Essentially, you had a multi-layer systemic failure at a gas station. We're essentially proving three cases all at the same time and trying to tie all these different systems together into one event. And it was very complicated to do that. And so early on in the process, I met with my firm, I met with my partners, I met with my co-counsel, and essentially made a decision personally and professionally that I was going to devote everything that I had to this case. And so I put aside other matters, personal and professional, and essentially worked on this case full-time for about 3 years. So when we identified the depth of these complexities and the need to explain them clearly to people who had never contemplated these types of things before, was when we contacted DK Global.